So, I noticed DG had uploaded a couple of vids. Oh, there was one I saw earlier. Progressive Scotland. And, yeah, I shared it. I'll maybe do a separate video on that one. But for this particular video, I'll stick with these two. I've seen this one. I haven't seen this one. So let's do this.
To ask the Scottish Government how it plans to address harm caused by disinformation and conspiracy theories, including climate denial propaganda.
Cabinet Secretary.
Climate denial propaganda. Now, remember, as you're listening to this one, it's repetition, repetition, repetition. Now, add a digital ID and all the rest of it, your thoughts online, you know, the very things you think. Oh, we're going to have to penalise you big style.
Gillian Martin.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Climate change and its effects are real. Those who would undermine climate action do so in the face of all evidence.
Look, there are so many scientists out there who absolutely know this is an absolute con. And remember what happened to David Bellamy, Dr. David Bellamy? Yeah, he was one of the guys that went, look, this is just no, there is no truth in this. That's it, no longer seen on the BBC. He became a known individual. Yeah, died somewhere like, what was it, 2019, I could be wrong, at the age of something like 86. This guy, you should look him up, Dr. David Bellamy. What a wonderful, wonderful character, yeah? And honestly, deserves our respect. And he was made a known person, because this is what this is all about. If you don't think in the absolute right way as they bring about this totalitarian world government,
Committed to making Scotland a carbon neutral and climate...
A carbon neutral. I mean, honestly, the absolute bloody madness. We're made of carbon, yeah? Historically, anywhere you look, when there's higher amounts of essentially a trace gas that at the moment is something like 0.04% of the atmosphere. And if it disappeared, all plant life on Earth would disappear shortly after, and we would be pretty much the same way. I keep saying this, type in greenhouses CO2. Their solution... Oh, let's spend tens of billions to store it underground, as opposed to, well, vegetation that will grow at 2 or 3 times the rate because of a heightened amount of CO2. Honestly, they're a death cult.
Resilient nation with all the economic and benefits.
Remember, we cracked out decades ago. No, we can't do that. We can use the technology from 8, 9, whatever 100 years ago called windmills. Even when it comes to these bloody things, you've got so many modern solutions that will not kill birds, just as effective in capturing energy by movement, wave movement, oscillation, all the rest of it. But no, it's about demonstrating to those of weak of mind through the education system, yeah, that were brought up in Tinky Winky and whatever else, yeah. The windmills, bird blenders. I mean, look, there's nothing carbon neutral about them. You use stacks of oil, lots of concrete, none of it's recyclable, and they end up having to bury the blades. Meanwhile, they're killing wildlife at the rate of knots, and they've got nobody to store the energy. Yeah? Honestly.
That brings. The Scottish Government is tackling climate disinformation by proactive public engagement and trusted, evidence-based communication on climate change.
In other words, bought and paid for underlying scientists within that 10%. Oh, you want to... Here's how it goes. You want to have a career? Spout this pish. If you don't...
This includes our national network of community climate action hubs and
our network of community climate action hubs. Let me translate that. Third sector, underling occultists and all the rest of that network right throughout our societies. You need to look at these local charities. Who funds them and what's their motivations?
our Climate Engagement Fund, and with enabling access to reliable sources of information supporting public understanding and collective climate action, we must and we will challenge climate deniers with the evidence.
Climate deniers. Honestly, maybe sip a beer or something every time you hear climate deniers in a clip that's 2 minutes 36 seconds. And what this guy, Patrick Harvey, comes out with next is basically, we need to shut down the internet. It's essentially what he's saying.
Patrick Harvey.
I'm grateful for the answer, but this goes beyond one portfolio. We saw
One portfolio as he wears the rainbow. Remember, because we're Care Bears. We're Care Bears. But ultimately, everything they do is demonstrably destructive to Western society. Say anything.
today how online disinformation can
Online disinformation.
quickly lead to violence.
Wait a minute, what? What? Say anything.
And far-right opportunism.
Far-right opportunism.
We've also seen...
Who's the most funded? It's all these left-wing loons that are going out there, you know. Antifa this, Free Plasticine that, various other, and they're all funded. The Rent-A-Mob that I covered recently. I'll leave you a link to that. People don't get it. They absolutely don't.
Disinformation and conspiracy theories in relation
Disinformation and conspiracy theories.
to issues like vaccines.
Now, remember, I keep saying this, they're a bloody death cult. You look at the stats of these vaccines, especially lately. You look at the increase in autism over the last few decades. Say anything. And then let's not forget COVID. The COVID shots. I've lost so many friends, relatives, extended, because I could not convince them. I could not. I mean, you'd think at some stage in amongst it all, when they were all getting COVID and dropping like flies, wait a minute, Scott. You were getting a lot of mockery. I can only warn you, Scott, if you don't take, I've lost people I know. Because, the more I realised, the more I tried to say, look, you really should look into this, the more I realised they were just hell-bent on, I cannot see this enough. How many quite close friends over recent years that I have lost that I could not convince about that at all. Not. Some of them even dying, stage 4 cancers. And on the very week they were dying, they're literally, oh, remember your COVID jab. Remember your booster. Honestly, I cannot be on my own in this, Contraception.
The treatment of minorities in our society.
Oh, as our quite literally our cities and towns and villages are turning into the third world. Slowly but surely. Some not so slowly. Look at Ireland. Look at London. Look at Birmingham. Look at various other places. Look at Glasgow. Look at Edinburgh.
And, as I say, the reboot and rebirth of climate denial, not just...
Did you miss the term? The reboot and rebirth of climate denial.
In online forms.
If you look at everything that they're implementing, it is about population reduction, while masquerading as the righteous. These people are absolute fucking psychopaths.
But in the mainstream media as well.
While you're seeing the theatrics in that particular auditorium, yeah, do you not think they've all met behind the scenes like most actors with a script and done the,
Minister sit down a cross-portfolio with other ministers and ensure that the Scottish Government develops
A cross portfolio. Because honestly, if you didn't realise you're living in a corporation, there is common denominators between corporations and communism. I've said so many times in the past, look up a gentleman called Anthony C. Sutton. Seriously. Go to vids. He's literally discussing this decades ago. I mean, he was so respected by some. He was in Zbigniew Brzezinski's and what was it, America in the technocratic era, between two worlds, something like that. What was that, about 1969? I mean, it's been years since I read it, but he actually quotes Anthony C. Sutton, and for good reason.
a robust and comprehensive strategy to deal with disinformation
And he's basically talking about shutting down the internet through digital ID. That's it.
conspiracy theories across all topics.
Cabinet Secretary.
And what you're going to see is more repetition. Because remember, as far as they see the rest of the public, they're dumbed down beyond belief. So this is used in advertising and propaganda. Repetition, repetition, repetition. If you repeat a lie enough, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I think that I don't think there's any climate deniers in the cabinet. Or
Remember, people were talking about, oh, the witch trials, all the rest of it. Look, you're climate denial. You no longer have anything to do with us. And under those circumstances, what are they prepared to do to people that are not part of their cult? I mean, they ultimately don't believe it themselves, although some of them are definitely method actors.
in the ministerial team, I don't think there's any climate change deniers in my party.
Think about that, honestly, seriously.
I know that the Green Party, obviously, I would say that mainly across this chamber, we do not have climate change deniers.
So this is a dig at, oh, what is it, reform? Yeah. But honestly, if you looked at them as covens and lodges, because honestly, there's common denominators. As I said, people keep thinking that masonry is basically male and male alone. Yeah, has to be a man for the each 18, blah, 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 etc., etc. But you look at Eastern Star, and that's a big fuck-off inverted pentagram, isn't it? Something like that, you know? Well, honestly, your councils, your parliaments, it's a funny handshake, both sexes. And if they're not into that, but they're usually into that and other things, or they can be a Mason and also, you know, a member of whatever, or possibly a coven. You know, common denominators. Look up witches' rituals, Freemason or Freemasonic rituals, and you'd find that there is common denominators, not least of which is quotes like "So mote it be" and various other things, and the ritualistic aspects of, as you swear you'll do X, Y, and Z, or what will happen to you if you don't, you know. Because you see, people don't realise that in the underlying occult, they don't have to know why they're doing things. In fact, you know, the less they question it, the better. They just know whatever's asked of them, they do. They come before family, it comes before, you know, seriously. And people don't realise the true numbers.
In the last parliament, I made the point of saying in that parliament, I did not believe that we had climate change deniers. But in
Because did you miss the...
this parliament, unfortunately, we do. And they can't take hold in the way.
And remember, afterwards, they're sort of like, did you like how many times I said that? And, you know, oh, good on you. You know, like they're humouring each other, you know, ingratiating each other. And meanwhile, they've got handlers. And, oh, honestly.
The way to combat climate change denial is to have...
Seriously. But then if you look at it, if you actually meet the average member of the public on the street side there and playing, yeah. Well, it's working to an extent.
facts. To have facts at our fingertips, not just about the health benefits, the society...
The health benefits, honestly. Yeah. Well, they all should just live on soy and various other things. Yeah, okay, it destroys fertility, virility, blah, blah, blah. In an already almost destroyed Western, all you need to do is look at the food system over the last few decades, especially, although not exclusively, but especially, the fine-tuning of excitotoxins and various chemicals, BPAs, BPSs, and then you look at the seed oils that we never used to consume, and so many other things. And it's right there in plain sight. Diabetes through the roof, so many other, honestly. All right, life expectancy is definitely in decline in Scotland, and not by accident. It really isn't. Seriously.
Benefits, but also the amount of jobs that climate action takes, the opportunities that Scotland has for growth. We have the facts at our fingertips. And
the facts.
Must have a responsibility, but people need to speak out against those that would come away with ridiculous phrases like we heard in the last couple of days from Mark Mofford, calling net zero net stupid zero. Well, that's not parliamentary language.
We're already at 16 minutes plus, so I'll do this as a separate vid. Come on, let's be honest. I don't think you want a 30-minute vid out of this, but anyway, your thoughts. Honestly, it's there in plain sight. Absolutely there in plain sight. And everything that is what they're implementing in every aspect is United Nations policy. And it is absolutely about population reduction. Seriously. Without a doubt. But most people don't realise you're dealing with occult, interconnected religions, theosophy, humanism, the New Age movement, all the rest of it. There's a direction of travel. And it is absolutely about population reduction. And I'll speak to you soon.